So next topic is about natural resources and associated problems. In this, we will talk about mineral resources, food resources, energy resources, and land resources. So a student will acquaint with different resources like mineral, food, energy, and land. These are very important resources, and also they will be come to know about uh, problems, how problems are occurring due to over exploitation of all these different type of resources. So mineral resource, several different type of minerals we utilize it in our daily life for different purposes. A mineral is a naturally occurring substance of definite calcium composition and identifiable physical properties. Minerals are formed over a period of millions of years in the Earth's crust. Iron, aluminum, zinc, magnesium, and copper are important raw materials for industrial use. Important non-metal resources include coal, salt, clay, cement, and silica. Stone used for building materials such as granite, marble, limestone constitute another category of minerals. Minerals with special properties that humans value for their aesthetic and ornamental value are gems such as diamond, emerald, and rubies, etc. The luster of gold, silver, and platinum is used for ornaments. Minerals in the form of oil, gas, and coal were formed when ancient plants and animals were converted into underground fossil fuels. Minerals and their ores need to be extracted from the earth's interior so that they can be used. This process is known as mining. Mining operations generally progress through four different stages. What are those four different stages? The first one is prospecting, that is for searching of minerals. The second one is exploration, that is assessing the size, shape, location, and economic value of the deposit. So, assessing the size, shape, location, and economic value of the deposit is it comes under exploration. Third one is development work. So, work of preparing access to the deposit so that the minerals can be extracted from it. So this development work consists of several works for preparing access to the deposit so that the minerals can be extracted from it. Then exploitation means extracting the minerals from the mines. So it is called exploitation. The last stage, that is extraction uh, from the place of origin or from the mines, is called as exploitation. So four different stages are there: prospecting, exploration, development, and exploitation. Next is the method of mining can be determined depending on whether the ore or mineral deposit is nearer the surface or deep within the earth. The topography of the region and the physical nature of the ore deposit is studied. Mines are of two types: surface, open cut or strip mines, or deep or shaft mines. Coal metals and non-metalliferous minerals are all mined differently depending on the above criteria. The method chosen for mining will ultimately depend on how maximum yield may be obtained under existing conditions at a minimum cost, with the least danger to the mining personnel. Most minerals need to be processed before they become usable. Thus, technology is dependent on both the presence of resources and the energy necessary to make them usable. So, next is the effect of mining of mineral resources. What are the different effects that causes due to the process of mining? The first one is health hazards. Miners have suffered from disasters due to the use of explosive in metal mines. Mining poses several long-term occupational hazards to the miners. Dust produced during mining operations is injurious to health and causes a lung disease known as black lung or pneumoconiosis. Fumes generated by incomplete dynamite explosions are extremely poisonous. Methane gas emanating from coal strata is hazardous to health, although not poisonous in the concentrations usually encountered in mine air. Additionally, radiation is a hazard in uranium mines. Effects of mining of mineral resources. Environmental problems. Mining operations are considered one of the main sources of environmental degradation. Depletion of available land due to mining, waste from industries, conversion of land to industry, and pollution of land, water, and air by industrial waste are environmental side effects of the use of these non-renewable resources. From these photos, from these pictures, we can see few example of pollution which is occurred due to mining or effect of mining on the environment. First is of air pollution due to blasting and due to several other activities. Dust particles are mixed up in air and they create air pollution. Next one is water pollution. For example, we can understand from the mining site where mining activities are being done, several dust particles of mud and stone are present on the ground surface, and whenever there is rainfall, that all tiny particles are carried away to the flow of water and they are transported to the larger surface water resources like streams, lakes, rivers, and finally they are contributed in ocean. Thus, these pollutants create water pollution. Next one is aquatic pollution. Once the contamination increases in water source, either river water source, pond water source, lake water source, or ocean, similar aquatic problems can be observed. The last image is of soil pollution due to activities of mining. The land is being cleared, the vegetation is lost, damaged, deforestation occurs, and thus it creates it increases the soil pollution. These two images are very good quality of image to understand the effect of mining on vegetation. We know that for the process of mining, we require several machines, heavy machinery, bigger vehicles for transportation of goods or raw materials. So, due to all these activities ongoing at the mining site, there is loss of vegetation on the ground surface. So, this image clearly presents the scenario of a mining site. Few case studies are there. This is the Sariska Tiger Reserve of Rajasthan. The forest department has leased land for mining in the Sariska Tiger Reserve in Alwar, Rajasthan by denotifying forest areas. The local people have fought against the mining lobby and filed a PIL in Supreme Court in 1991. Rajendra Singh, secretary of TDS, points out that as many as 70 mines operated in close proximity to the forest. Next is food resources. So food resources are very important resource because we consume this all resource in our daily life. So our food comes from agriculture, animal husbandry and fishing. These are the three sources from where our food comes which we consume it. We have thousands of edible plants and animals over the world, out of which only about 3 dozen different types of food are consumed by human beings. The main food resources include wheat, rice, maize, potato, barley, oats, cassava, sugarcane, pulses, sorghum, millet, about 20 or 50 common fruits and vegetables, milk, meat, fish, and seafood. Different varieties of seafood. 76% of world food is produced from croplands, and most it produced is grains. Approximately 17% of world food is obtained from rangeland, 7% of world food supplied by oceanic fisheries, and about 30,000 plant species are eatable. Two-third of the people use traditional grains like rice, wheat, etc. So we can see that there are varieties of food available, but in practice, human beings consumed a very little variety of food. Especially, most of the grains are consumed, vegetables and fruits are rarely consumed because of non-availability due to several reasons. So next is world food problem. In spite of increased productivity, in spite of several modern techniques in crop cultivation, fruit cultivation, livestock and fisheries, Still, there are billions of people who go empty stomach to bed. The world population increases and cultivable land area is decreasing. Due to the inadequate rainfall, the productivity of food is reduced by every year. Due to the inadequate rainfall, change in pattern of rainfall, uncertainty of rainfall, shifting pattern of rainfall, intensity change of rainfall, the productivity of food is reduced by every year. Similarly, due to water pollution, polluted water, degraded water quality, degraded soil quality, decreases the uh, agricultural production. Environmental degradation like soil erosion, waterlogging, water pollution, salinity affects agricultural lands. Urbanization is another problem for reduction of agricultural land. So we can see that even though modern techniques are available, but still due to several factors like climate change, population explosion, urbanization, and other development activities, and negative impact on the natural resources due to this all development activities, population growth, are playing negative role on soil, water, and environment. Thus, there is year by year there is degrade in the productivity of food crops. Urbanization is a major role player because due to urban development activities or urbanization, the agricultural lands are shrinking day by day. Thus, the shrinking activity of agricultural land is leading towards unproductivity or less productivity. So, still millions of people are there who are not fulfilled 100% with food. So, what are the changes that are caused by agriculture and overgrazing? Agriculture that are unsustainable and which pollute our environment with excessive use of fertilizers and pesticides. Our fertile soils are being exploited faster than they can recuperate. Forests, grasslands, and wetlands have been converted to agricultural use, which has led to serious ecological questions. Our fish resources, both marine and inland, show evidence of exhaustion. There are great disparities in the availability of nutritious food. Some communities, such as tribal people, still face serious food problems, leading to malnutrition, especially among women and children. So, we see that there are several negative impacts on environmental components due to improper agricultural activities as well as overgrazing. Several environmental components like land resource is being uh, occupied by agricultural use, forest resource is being occupied by agriculture for agricultural use. Thus, they are creating serious ecological problems. Fish resource, both marine and inland, that are heavily ever exploited. Overfishing is done. So it is uh, the fishing is done much more higher rate of their natural productivity. So due to over explosion of this several resources, the alarming stage has been arrived. Several species are almost at the edge of existing. Several species are almost extinct. We never see, we never find. Also, there is a great disparity in the availability of nutritious food, and even in today's world, several people are still facing serious food problems, and people are malnutrition, especially women and children of tribal or rural community. They are facing the problem of malnutrition. Globally, 5 to 7 million hectares of farmland is degraded each year. Loss of nutrients and overuse of agricultural chemicals are major factor in land degradation. Water scarcity is an important aspect of poor agricultural output. Additionally, salinization and waterlogging has affected a large amount of agricultural land worldwide. Israel began using drip irrigation system due to shortage of water. With this technique, farmers have been able to improve the efficiency of irrigation by 95%. Over a 20-year period, Israel's food production doubled without an increase in the use of water for agriculture. So it was a great decision, a great innovation, which is drip irrigation system. The efficiency of drip irrigation system is can be achieved if properly designed and installed. That is 95%. Only 5% of water loss is being observed. Therefore, since the beginning of this technology, within the 20-year period, Israel's food production was doubled and without any increase in the use of water for agriculture. So, in India, some traditional communities in urban and semi-urban towns, they used to grow their own vegetables in backyards on wastewater from their own homes. Moreover, example can be seen from Kolkata that releases its wastewater into surrounding lagoons in which fish are reared and the water is used for growing vegetables. So, this all examples can be taken in order to preserve, to protect the natural resource, or say like water resource. We know that water is a very important resource without which life is not possible. Therefore, in in the present scenario, when much of the communities, several countries, several provinces, several states are facing severe water scarcity, the modern techniques of water saving should be adopted and should be practiced. So next is energy resources. We'll discuss in depth. Energy is defined as the capacity to do work. Energy is found on our planet in a variety of forms, some of which are immediately useful to do work, while others require a process of transformation. The sun is the primary energy source in our life. Fossil fuels such as coal, gas, or oil represent the principal source of energy and supply about 85% of the commercial energy requirement. So we can say that the commercial energy requirement is still dependent on fossil fuel rather than alternate energy systems, say like solar harvesters or solar system or solar energy or wind energy. Petroleum consists largely of paraffins or simple alkanes with smaller aromatic compounds such as benzene present in most crude oils. So petroleum consists largely of paraffins or small alkanes with small aromatic compounds such as benzene present in most crude oils. Natural gas is an abundant fossil fuel that consists largely of methane and ethane, although traces of higher alkanes are present. Coal, unlike petroleum, contains only a little hydrogen. Fossil evidence shows that coal is mostly derived from the burial of terrestrial vegetation with high proportion of lignin and cellulose. Nuclear power is an attractive alternative to fossil fuels and considered as the clear energy alternative. There are several sustainable energy sources that should be developed. Among these are wind power, biomass. Biomass means burning renewable energy crops such as fast growing trees or shrubs, small scale hydropower, low head or runoff the river turbines, passive solar space heating, active solar water heating, photovoltaic energy that is direct conversion of sunlight to electricity, and ocean tidal or wave power. So these are the currently available sustainable energy sources or alternate energy sources. So present strategies for development that have focused on rapid economic growth have used energy utilization as an index of economic development. Between 1950 and 1900, the world's energy need increased fourfold. The world's demand for electricity has doubled over the last 22 years. Electricity is at present the fastest growing form of end-use energy worldwide. A global average per capita that works out to be is 1.5 ton of oil. So this is the world commercial energy consumption. We can see from the graph the maximum share is for oil, then it is for coal and natural gas. So from the diagram we can understand that maximum dependency is for oil. Then secondly, our world depend on coal and natural gas, whereas nuclear power, hydroelectric power, there is like less dependency on these two different type of different source of power or energy. So talking about Indian scenario, by seeing this graph we can understand that what is the dependency of Indian commercial energy requirement. So the maximum deficiency dependency, like say like more than it is approx 55%. It is more than 50%. Whereas on oil we depend only 31%. Remaining 8% is for natural gas, hydropower 5%, nuclear 1%. So India is least dependent on nuclear power, that is 1%. So renewable energy sources. Renewable energy systems use resources that are constantly replaced and are usually less polluting, like hydropower, solar, wind, and geothermal. We also get renewable energy from burning of trees and even garbage as fuel and processing other plants into biofuels. All our homes may get their energy from the sun or the wind. The case study, nearly 50% of the world's population is dependent on fuel wood as a source of energy. This is obvious in our own country, which has lost a large proportion of its forest cover as our population expands and burns enormous amount of wood. Rural women and even women from the lower economic strata in town still have to depend a large part of their lives collecting fuel wood. To overcome this, various types of fuel efficient stoves, namely chulhas, are burn can burn wood extremely slowly and do not waste the heat, and also produce less smoke and ash than normal chulhas. There have always also been several efforts to grow fuel wood by involving local people in these efforts. Several examples like soil forestry, farm forestry, and joint farm management. Non-renewable energy resources. They consist of the mineral based hydrocarbon, fuels, coal, oil, and natural gases that were formed from ancient prehistoric forests. Oil and gas resources, however, are likely to be used up within the next 50 years. When these fuels are burned, they produce waste material that are released into the atmosphere as gases such as carbon dioxide, oxides of sulfur, nitrate, and carbon monoxide, all causes of air pollution. Many of these gases also act like a greenhouse, letting sunlight in and trapping the heat inside. This is leading to global warming, a rise in global temperature, increased drought in some areas, floods in other regions, the melting of ice caps, and a rise in sea level, which is slowly submerging coastal belts all the all over the world. Most of the natural gas is linked to oil because there is no distribution system. It is just burnt off. This wastes nearly 40% of available gas. The process of oil and natural gas drilling, processing, transport, and utilization have serious environmental consequences, such as leaks in which air and water are polluted, and accidental fires that may go on burning for days or weeks before the fire can be controlled. During redefining oil, solid waste such as salts and grease are uploaded, which also damage the environment. Oil slicks are caused at sea from offshore oil wells, cleaning of oil tankers, and due to shipwrecks. Oil-powered vehicles emit carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrous oxide, carbon monoxide, and particulate matter, which is a major cause of pollution. Oil-related disaster. During the Gulf War, oil installation burned for weeks, polluting the air with poisonous gases. The fire wasted 5 million barrels of oil and produced over a million tons of airborne pollutants, including sulfur dioxide, a major cause of acid rain. The gases moved to a height of 3 kilometers and spread as far as India. Oil also pollutes coastline, killing birds and fishes, so it is harmful. Next is land resources. So we know that land is an important resource, so it has to be utilized wisely, and over exploitation should be avoided. Landforms such as hills, valleys, plains, river basins, and wetlands include different resource generating areas that the people living in them depend on because all the resources are being generated on land surface. If land is utilized carefully, it can be considered a renewable resource. The roots of trees and grasses bind the soil. If forests are depleted or grasslands overgrazed, the land becomes unproductive and wasteland is formed. Land is also converted into a non-renewable resource when highly toxic industrial and nuclear waste are dumped on it. So these things are happening in several bigger cities, like dumping of toxic waste, plastic waste, the waste from several industries, like say like battery industries, which produces lead as an waste. So it is producing, it is negatively impacting the land resource. So this image is very clear to make you understand the change in land use. Land use change. The first side you can see is this is initial stage, or say like vegetation or forest area. We have discussed in previous lectures about zoom cultivation. So if we want to take example of zoom cultivation, like forest area, a patch of forest area will be cleared and it will be utilized for cultivation of crops. Similar things happen in almost every part. There is initially there is forest area. So within that forest area, there will be several vegetation, several plants, several animals, several forest produce. After some time, due to several reasons, say like urbanization, population growth, we require more amount of land for cultivation of crops. So what we do is we clear up the forest area and we start cultivating crops. After some time, when too many like population increases in that area also, there is again requirement for urban development. So from the last point of this image, you can see this can be example of like how a forest area is cleaned, converted to agricultural land, and how this agricultural land is now devoted for urbanization. So every year between 5 to 7 million hectares of land worldwide is added to the existing degraded farmland. Farmland is under threat due to more and more intensive utilization. When soil is used more intensively by farming, it is eroded more rapidly by wind and rain. Over irrigating farmland leads to salinization, as evaporation of water brings the salt to the surface of the soil on which crops cannot grow. It is it also creates waterlogging of the topsoil so that crop roots are affected and the crop deteriorates. The use of chemical fertilizers poisons the soil so that eventually the land becomes unproductive. As urban centers grow and industrial expansion occurs, the agricultural land and forests are continuously shrinking. So next is soil erosion and desertification. Soils of various types support a wide variety of crops. The misuse of an ecosystem leads to loss of valuable soil through erosion by the monsoon rains and to a small extent by wind. Deforestation thus leads to rapid soil erosion. It is essential to preserve what remains of our natural forest cover. Also, it is equally important to reforest denuded area. The linkage between the existence of forest and the presence of soil is greater than the forest's physical soil binding functional alone. The soil is enriched by the leaf litter of the forest. Okay, so this is the MCQ questions. You have to go through the PPTs, then only you will be able to answer these questions. Similar questions are already uploaded on LMS. You can log in and attempt it and submit your paper. So that's it for your today's lecture. Thank you.